Hi everyone, this is Ray at Whitney Auto in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and this is our project 2004 Mazda RX8 that we've been doing a series of videos on. Today we're going to be doing an SSV removal. I'm going to split this video up into a couple different parts so that you can either remove it, replace it, clean it, and then we'll also look at some other things that could be causing that check engine light or lack of power. But in this video alone we're going to be doing the removal of the SSV. Okay, well first you want to pop open your hood and you'll see the engine cover here. We need to remove that to gain access to the engine. In order to do that, we're going to pull up where these yellow arrows are, and then we're going to pull the cover towards ourselves to remove it. Once it's removed, you'll see the actual engine with the strut bar just across it, and there are four 12mm nuts that will hold the strut bar on. They're labeled here with yellow arrows. You're going to remove those four 12mm nuts and pull the strut bar out of the way. Next, we need to gain access to the battery. In order to do that, we're going to have to remove the hose that comes off of the top and then pull back the two tabs labeled open on the back of the battery cover. Now we have access to our battery. In order to remove the battery, we need to remove the cables first. There are two 10mm nuts on the battery cable ends, in which case you'll just loosen them and then pull them off the battery and tuck them to the side. Now we need to remove the battery bracket and J-hooks that are holding the battery to the car. You'll do that by loosening the 10mm nuts. Be careful not to drop the J-hooks down into the engine compartment, and then you'll be free to remove your battery. When you remove your battery, you'll see a lower half of a battery box that looks like this. This vehicle is actually missing the upper half. The lower box is removed by removing these three 10mm nuts as well. After you remove them, you'll have a much more open space right here next to the air box. Next thing we need to remove is the air pump assembly. We're going to start doing that by disconnecting the electrical connector first. It's labeled here with a yellow arrow. It's a black and brown connector. It's anchored to the bracket on the right side, so you're going to push the tab down and pull it outwards. And when you do, it's going to look just like this once it's separated. After you've done that, you need to remove the larger of the two clamps from this air pump hose and disconnect the hose from the actuator like that. Labeled here, you'll need to remove the two 10mm bolts and one 10mm nut mounting the air pump to the body of the vehicle. After you've done that, disconnect the barometric pressure sensor here by pushing the tab down. After you've pulled it backwards, you can just set the harness aside. Give yourself a little more room to pull the air pump forward. Now, tipping it upside down, you'll see a little plastic tab holding the harness to the bracket. We're just going to pinch that with a pair of pliers, and here's what it'll look like with your air pump removed. You'll have a little more room there as well. Now, just above the thermostat, you'll need to remove this 10mm nut that mounts the air pump actuator valve to the thermostat housing. After you get that off, you'll need to remove the small rubber vacuum hose off the back of the actuator as well. Located right next to where your battery was is your PCM, and this is your PCM cover. We're going to remove the PCM cover by taking out the three 10mm bolts labeled here. After you've removed those bolts, disconnect the coolant hose from the top and the two retainer clips that hold the harness in place on either side. Now that you have your cover off of your PCM, we can remove the electrical connectors needed. We're going to do that by pushing down on the tabs on the top of the three connectors to the left side of the PCM. I'm just going to pull them aside. Now I use a pick to push forward the tab on the lever that holds the connector onto the bottom of the PCM. After we've pulled that up, we can pull the grommet up and out, and as you see here, I forgot to disconnect the third connector and I pulled that right out. We're just going to tuck that to the side. Now, looking through the passenger side front wheel well, just above the exhaust manifold, you'll see the bottom half of that air pump actuator valve tube. These two bolts here can be a real pain to get off. You're going to want to coat them with some kind of WD-40 or rust penetrant. and then you'll get them off. They're 10mm heads. After you've done that, also beneath the car, you're going to want to drain the coolant. The access hole for the radiator drain plug is right there, and there's a closer look at it. It's a size 2 Phillips head screw. It's plastic, so be careful with it and don't misplace it. Now that we've got it back up top, we can remove the whole tube with the valve attached. We'll set it aside here. With your radiator drained out, you're able to remove some coolant hoses without making a mess on the floor now. Off the top of the thermostat housing, we're going to remove these 2 clamps. We're going to back them off and then remove the hoses off the top of the thermostat housing. We're going to tuck them out of the way, give us a little more room to work. Next, moving over to our water pump, before we remove or loosen the belt, we're going to loosen, and not remove, but loosen these 3 water pump pulley bolts. Here's what they look like when they're loosened. The pulley's still in place and the belt is still on, but they are loose and only finger tight at that point. Moving over to our alternator, we're going to loosen but not remove the 14mm mounting bolt on the bottom and the 12mm lock nut on the top. We're not going to remove them all the way just yet. Then we're going to back out the 12mm tensioner bolt, the long tensioner bolt here labeled with red. We're going to back it out until it's just barely attached to the nut portion of it, here also labeled in red. After we've done that, we can push our alternator down, loosen our belt, and tuck it to the side. Now with the belt removed, we can remove the 3 water pump pulley bolts that we left hand tight and remove the pulley itself. Now we need to remove our tensioner bracket by removing the 12mm nuts mounted to the front of the water pump here on the bottom and the 1 lock nut located at the top. After you remove the nut, back the long tensioner bolt out the rest of the way. Be careful not to drop them and pull them away from the bracket. Next, looking down at the thermostat housing, you're going to remove the 1 12mm bolt and 1 12mm nut off the top of the thermostat. That'll give you enough space to remove the black tensioner bracket and reach in, twist off, and remove the top of your thermostat housing. Now, unless you intend on replacing your thermostat, I recommend leaving it in place or the seal may become difficult to reseal. Moving on to the bottom of the thermostat housing, you're going to remove the 4 hoses labeled here by backing off their spring clamps and pulling the hoses off. It's a little tight down in there, but do your best to maneuver them out of the way so you have more room to work. Now we need to remove our lower thermostat housing, and there's 3 nuts that hold it on, and they're all kind of a pain to get to. I'm going to show you a picture of the housing at the end to give you a better idea of how to see them. But here's one of them labeled. Now this one I got lucky on. It normally has a bracket that holds those oil metering pump feed lines to. With that, you're going to want to bend that bracket out of the way, but mine, I just had to take it off. Now here, hidden right behind, poking around the corner there of the thermostat, is the second one, and down here at the front again is the 3rd one. Now like I said, I'm going to show you another picture in a minute, give you a better angle on it. So that first one there, like I said, normally it has a bracket that comes up and around to hold those oil metering pump lines in place, but you're going to want to push them out of the way after you've removed that clip to get it out. You can see if you pull it straight out, it tugs on those lines, tuck them aside with your thumb, and pull the housing out of the way. So here's the next picture I'm going to show you is the 3 holes. Now you can see where they are. There's 1 on the back and then 2 on the front. And that gives you a better idea or understanding of how to get them off and where to see them. Now we're ready to disconnect our SSV connector. Mine's actually pulled forward here. You can see mine has actually been out and replaced before, but you're just going to push the tab on it in order to get it out and pull it out of the way. Now you're also going to remove 2 10mm bolts on it. Now you see that there's actually 3 bolts on it, but only 2 of them need to be removed. One of them is going to be long and one of them is going to be short, and that's what it's going to look like when they're removed and the connector's disconnected. Now with the bolts out and connector disconnected, you can grab it, wiggle it, twist it, whatever you need to do. Once it pops free, it'll be a little bit easier to wiggle in and out, but you're just going to continuously wiggle it and pull it with the harness out of the way and the hoses out of the way. You'll have a little more room to tug on it. Don't tug too hard, don't want to bend anything. More of a rattle and twisting will pull it out. Again, this was only the first video, how to remove an SSV, and there will be more videos to follow, so please subscribe to the channel. We'll go over a lot of things, the differences between the old style and new style SSV, the different codes you may face, how to diagnose them and how to fix them, as well as plenty of other things with RX8s and all Mazda vehicles. So your subscriptions to the channel do help me. Also, if you like the video, please go ahead and click like on it. That helps me as well. Again, this is Ray at Whitney Auto in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Please like us on Facebook and like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it very much. It's WhitneyAutoRepair.com.